Carnell Tate is one of my favorite prospects coming out of this 2026 class, and I couldn't wait to make a video about him. He is from Chicago, Illinois, where I'm from. He is a Bears fan, which I am as well. And man, I really love this guy. This guy is another Ohio State Buckeye, and you already know how those Ohio State Buckeyes are. They produce. Now, Carnell Tate, he is a 5-star prospect coming out of high school. He went to IMG Academy and he went to Ohio State. He's listed at 6'2", 190 pounds, and he's going to be in the league at the age of 21 years old. And fun fact, by the end of his rookie regular season year, he will still be 21 years old. Carnell Tate is an early declare, which is he's coming out of his true junior year. And in his junior year, he averaged a 3 yards per route run in his final season, and that is elite. Just to put it in perspective, that is elite right there. He is an X wide receiver where you can move him anywhere because he's pretty versatile, but he majority plays outside where he wins downfield and makes the most ridiculous catches you'll see. Now, post combine, I know Carnell Tate, he was crucified for having a slow 40 time, which he ran like a 4.53, and I don't really care about that. All right, the speed shows on the field, it shows on the film, and he's a guy that could beat man and in zone, and he's really good at that. I mean, how many guys in the league that's been amazing and elite at wide receiver had a slow 40? You know, if we're being honest, and like, this is true, like wide receiver 40 times is like the least important 40s that you could ever take serious. You got the Mike Evans, even JSN ran a slow one. Puka Nacua, they ran a slow one. Keenan Allen, very slow one. Doesn't matter, as long as you get separation and know what you're doing, you're gonna be amazing in the league. To start off, we're gonna compare Carnell Tate to the other 2 top receivers, and those receivers are Mekhi Lemon and Jordan Tyson, and I made a video about Mekhi Lemon. Go ahead and check it out if you want. But here we go with the breakout age. I mean, Carnell Tate, he broke out at the age of 20, which is a very good, fine age to break out, considering how young he is going into the league. His dominator rating, it was a 31%. His yards per route run was a 3.02, which I said earlier is elite compared to the 3. And his yards per team pass attempt was leading all the 3 with 3.08. And we could break it down to the receiver draft class advanced stats, where Carnell Tate, he has the highest QBR when targeted. His career yards per route run, I mean, above a 2 in my book, you're going to be very good in the league, especially in the zone yards per route run, which majority of the league runs zone. So he is very good right there in that area. Obviously, his target rate percentage isn't going to be amazing compared to the others because, I mean, he was playing alongside guys like Jeremiah Smith, Brandon Ennis, Max Clare, spreading around the ball in that Ohio State offense. But his open target rate percentage is not that bad compared to everyone else, and his contested catch rate is amazing. 68.8% of the time he comes down when contested. His first down rate is pretty good. His touchdown rate is pretty good as well. Now, when it comes to career contested target success rate, Carnell Tate sits at number 1 in his class. And when I say this guy has magnets in his hands, and I mean it, this guy will come down with anything in his radius. And don't get it twisted, man. This guy will not drop a ball either. His career drop rate in his collegiate career was 4%, which was top 5 in this class. And to show you how special that metric is, I mean, Carnell Tate, since 2020, has the second highest contested catch success rate out of any round 1 receiver prospect. The one that's above him is Jackson Smith-Njigba with 71.4%. That's the only guy in front of him. And I don't know about you, I love me some Jackson Smith-Njigba. And we could go into another PFF grade stat against Power 4 competition, which is the best of the best of his 2025 season. I mean, he had an 86.2 PFF grade on 54 targets. Not a lot of volume compared to the others, but hey, when he gets targeted though, it's pretty high. Second highest on this list right here. As I brought up earlier, comparing to Mekhi Lemon and Jordan Tyson with the career passer rating when targeted, Well, he is top of this list, just right under Elijah Surratt with 134 passer rating when targeted. He's above guys like Omar Cooper, Jacoby Lane, Mekhi Lemon. He is top 2 in this metric in his class. He is that special. And I know there was some guys out there talking about how Carnell Tate isn't really that good of a route runner. Like, he's not that twitchy compared to guys like Jordan Tyson. But here we have the reception perception, and Ohio State, all they asked him to do was just go long, pretty much. He wasn't asked to, run a lot of screens, a lot of flats, a lot of slants. His specialty was winning downfield and killing a DB in front of him. He runs majority digs, curls, posts, nines, corners, outs, comebacks. He'll do it all. And that guy is a monster when it comes to sideline catches. And when it comes to the success rate, he wins at every level down the field. Even when you ask him to do a flat or a screen. But this man, his bread and butter is going long and beating you downfield. Now, do I sometimes wish that he ran more slants and ran it at a better, success rate? Of course. But who says that he can't do it? I think it just comes to volume, how much he's asked to do it. And I think if he does it, he'll do it at an elite level, considering his contested catch rate and being able to bring a lot of balls down. And now when it comes to his deep targets, this guy is amazing. He's the best of the best. In his 2025 season, on deep targets or over 20 plus yards, he had 17 targets, hauled in 11 of those. 6 of them were touchdowns. And of course, the 64% catch rate on those 20 plus yard bombs. And he had a 99.9 PFF grade. That is almost perfect. One of the best deep threats in the nation. And when talking about him winning down the field of targets, 20 plus yards down the field, I mean, he's top 6 in receiving yards when it comes against Power 4 conferences, all right? He's in names with like Jeremiah Smith, his teammate, who's, I mean, obviously elite, just another league of his own. Mekhi Lemon, he's with Chris Brazel, who won down the field a lot. And Deuce Robinson from Florida State, I really like him a lot. But Carnell Tate, man, oh man. Even with not that much volume going his way, he still managed to get top 6 in those receiving metrics. Now we know how lethal Carnell Tate is down the field. He wasn't asked to run a lot of screens much last season, but when he did, he ran 8 yards per target on screens, and it was pretty decent, but a low volume. But if you give it to him in the right space, manages to produce a good amount of yards on him compared to his peers. Now that I showed you Carnell Tate compared to the other wide receivers in this class, I'm going to go ahead and show you some metrics, him compared to previous wide receivers that was drafted before him. Here are some receivers in college that produced over 2.70 yards per route run, a contested catch rate of 75% or higher, and lower than a 6% drop percentage. Jackson Smith-Njigba, Justin Jefferson, Rome Odunze, Carnell Tate, and Nico Collins. Now, if you ask me, that is a pretty good group. Now, here's another one of receivers that had higher than a 9 average depth of target, over a 80% contested catch rate, and under a 6% drop rate. Obviously, you see the same name with Nico Collins, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Justin Jefferson, and what do you know, Carnell Tate, alongside a Miami receiver CJ Daniels. This just shows here that he's pretty much like that when it comes to going down the field and hauling in any deep ball, and he will not drop a lot of those balls. Now, if you thought those metrics were impressive, here we have a contested catch rate of over 65% and missed tackles forced per reception, and with a QB rating when targeted over 140. And the list of names here, we have Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and what do you know, Carnell Tate, having one of the best ratings. Now let's go into some weaknesses, because obviously not every wide receiver prospect is perfect. With like Mekhi Lemon, it's the size, and can he beat like bigger DBs, right? Well, with Carnell Tate, it's got to be the yak ability. The yards after catch, the missed tackles forced. He's not the guy that's gonna get shifty and make a guy miss. Here we have round 1 wide receivers ranking below 25th percentile in career when it comes to yards after catch per reception. I mean, you're going to still have some good names up here, like Drake London, Marvin Harrison Jr., but I mean, obviously these guys' names haven't, they haven't done much in the league so far. I mean, we got some promising guys like Teteroa McMillan, Brian Thomas Jr., Rome Odunze, Garrett Wilson. Like, these guys' careers isn't over. Like, Chris Olave is amazing. He's an all-pro. But, yeah, guys with this same metric is like Jordan Tyson, Denzel Boston. And then you're going to get your Xavier Legette's as well, Ricky Pearsall's, Josh Doxson. Not a lot of good names, so take this with a grain of salt, but just know his weakness is after the catch. And here's another stat. When it comes to round one receivers, ranking below the 25th percentile by career missed tackles forced, you got ugly names like Josh Doxson, Jahan Dotson. I mean, Henry Ruggs before he went to jail though. Xavier Legette, Will Fuller, Ricky Pearsall, Philip Dorsett. We still got guys like Chris Olave, Jamison Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, some guys that, shown flashes in the league, but can they be wide receiver ones? I mean, I've seen Olave do it already, but I have yet to see the rest of the list do it, at a consistent rate. Now, I found this chart, this graph. It lists a completion percentage over expectation and average depth of target for wide receivers. This stat is dating back to all the way to 2014 to now. It's a bunch of receivers that was drafted first and in the second round, including the new 2026 wide receiver prospects. And on this chart, as you can see on the right side, Carnell Tate is all the way on the right. And in my opinion, if you're far all the way on the right side, I think you're going to be a pretty darn good receiver, because he's in the range with the Olaves, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb. You see Justin Jefferson just a little below him in terms of average depth of target. And you see Jackson Smith and Jigba all the way on the right side. But, he doesn't have that much average depth of target coming out of Ohio State. But it doesn't matter, because we've seen Jackson Smith and Jigba win downfield a lot. Now, when it comes to draft comparisons, it's a little hard to, point out someone and say, hey, you play just like him, or this guy can be the next this player. But a lot of the comparisons that I've been seeing a lot was George Pickens, and I kind of see it. I mean, the production that George Pickens put out in Georgia, we could pull up college stats comparing George Pickens and Carnell Tate, where, George Pickens averaged 3.5 yards after carry per reception and a 0.077 missed tackles forced per reception. And comparing to Carnell Tate, I mean, Carnell Tate's a better yards after catch guy, and he's better at missing tackles compared to George Pickens, which is pretty crazy. And I mean, you see what George Pickens has been doing in the NFL when going to the Cowboys. He's been amazing. He's been a superstar, cracking over 1,300 yards and a lot of touchdowns. I feel like that's kind of a direction that Carnell Tate can go. He is definitely a high-end wide receiver 2, borderline wide receiver 1 if he is put in the right situation. And speaking of situation, I mean, Carnell Tate, as of right now in mock drafts and analysts, he's projected to go top 10. But if you want to take it back any further, Carnell Tate, still, if he was drafted top 10 as an early declare since 2015, we got guys like Amari Cooper, Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Travis Hunter, and Teteroa McMillan. Now, every single one of these guys, they had over 150 yards as a rookie, except for Travis Hunter, which his season ended pretty early with an injury. And 6 out of the 9 receivers listed on here posted 1,000 yards as a rookie. Now, if you ask me, man, this is a pretty elite list to be a part of. Now, do I think he'll crack 1,000 yards in his rookie year? Depends on the situation, right? In terms of teams where he's been mocked to, I've seen the Giants as early as 5. I mean, him next to Malik Neighbors, I mean, that would be an explosive receiving threat. But I just think that Malik Neighbors is like a target haul. I mean, he's led the team in targets for like over 30% target share, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Now, with teams like the Browns, I could definitely see if he gets plugged onto the Browns, he'll be the day 1 wide receiver 1, just like that. And I think he has a good chance of cracking 1,000 yards, probably over 150 yards for sure. But with the Browns, who knows who the quarterback is, right? Are we still trusting Shador Sanders to, lead the way? Are they going to give Deshaun Watson snaps at the start of the year? I mean, what is their situation going to look like? But as we all know, he'll probably be the alpha wide receiver one, along playing, with Harold Fannin, who is a good prospect out of Bowling Green. I think both of those guys will definitely lead that team in receiving. And another team that I've seen him mocked was the Washington Commanders. I mean, he'll be amazing with Jaden Daniels throwing to him on every Sunday. And he'll play alongside Terry McLaurin, another Ohio State Buckeye, who is aging at the age of 31, just signed an extension a year ago. But, who knows how long he's going to be on that team for. And if we're playing the long game, then Carnell Tate will for sure be the wide receiver one after Terry leaves. I've also seen mocks where he's mocked to the Saints, playing alongside Chris Olave. Now that is something interesting to look at. I mean, his target share would probably be the same if he was on the Giants, not that much targets. I mean, Chris Olave, he's a proven talent. We've seen what he done with the Saints, all pro. But in NFL terms, I think he'll be really good under Kellen Moore calling the plays next to Chris Olave. I mean, that's a good receiving room that you got to defend. And here's a spicy one. If somehow in some world, some way, he lands on the Chiefs, I mean, there you go. Mahomes, he hasn't had a deep threat like Carnell Tate since Tyreek Hill. And who knows if he drops there and they still haven't signed a deep threat like, Tyreek Hill, he'll probably end up, being Mahomes' number one man, and he'll win down the field a lot. And we already knew how Mahomes was when it came to him, throwing down the field to an elite receiver. And for the fun of it, just if somehow he managed to drop outside of the top 10, he would be a Miami Dolphin, possibly. I mean, they have no one, especially shipping out Waddle to the Broncos. He would for sure be their number one target over there with Malik Willis, who just signed there. I think it would be a fun experiment over there. I mean, why not? Now, for all the fantasy heads out there like me, in redrafts, I would definitely draft them in the same realm as Mekhi Lemon. Will probably go in the 6th, 5th round if you're feeling ballsy, if you really love them. In startups, in a dynasty league, probably in the 4th, 3rd round for sure. And if it came down to rookie mock drafts, I mean, this guy is a certified 103 lock. 102 if you really love an Ohio State Buckeye receiver like I do. I mean, he's a really fun prospect. I really like the way he moves. He's a great separator, really smooth. And I think it's only up from here, man. I mean, he's really young. He's a guy from Chicago, so I'm going to be rooting very, very heavy for him. Now, that'll go ahead and wrap up this video. Let me know any prospects that you like that I can go over and list out some analytics and compare them to previous wide receivers, or it could be any other positions like edge rushers, QBs, running backs. I would definitely go out and start posting some of my favorite players in this class. So go ahead and leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you for tuning in.